Hello everyone and welcome back to the one and only Bear Bar Tales. It is I, the one bear brave enough to admit I have zero problem with there, and there. I do, however, have a problem with two. Two, sure, 1, 2. But there's a special place in hell for whoever decided we need 2 more 2s. There's one with 1 O, then there's one with 2 O's, and if you screw it up, everyone will make fun of you. And I hear you all typing in the comments now, well, 2 is like also, and yeah, that's a great rule some of the time. But seriously, I can't tell you how many times I try that and it doesn't work, but 1 O looks wrong, and I hate it. And while you may not be able to understand the Mossies, I can, and they can say some truly horrible things. Because I am the Bear Bard. Have you, dear listener, ever realized that you were in the middle of a stupid argument and maybe you should have just dropped it a while ago? Or maybe never have started it in the first place? If you answered no to that last question, I'm sorry. I'm sure that you will be in a relationship one day, but until then, maybe you can live vicariously through our stories OP. For today, we have just such an occasion. Before we get started though, I'd like to quickly point out that near the bottom of your screen, there's a poor, lonely like button who is just looking for someone to love them. You'll then notice their friend, the lovely little sub button who just wants you to appreciate them as well. Every sub I get gets me one step closer to buying my own movie studio and filling every movie with subliminal advertising like Coke did when they bought Columbia Pictures, and threw Coke products in every movie. Seriously, look it up. This actually happened. They legit reshot scenes from Karate Kid because he covered up the Sprite can. However, I will fill it with uplifting messages about believing in yourself and having faith that you're so much better than that self-view you're holding. Also, to stop littering and burning down my forests, or I will show up. With all that out of the way, let's get to today's story titled, Player Tried to Dox Me Over Which Class is Weaker argument and DM took their side. This was about a year ago. I was playing in an online group with my girlfriend. We had found this group via Discord, and the DM seemed like a genuine fun guy to hang around. We took the video calls and such. The vibes matched very well. We started the campaign, and from the get-go, it was quite the interesting experience. Our characters would get tested to the limit. We'd end sessions with, damn, these enemies were OP, I can't believe we survived that feelings. There were about 5 of us, but one player was creepy, uncooperative, and overall, hedonistic? They played a druid and would describe their character in great detail as a 6'10" tall furry dom whenever they just turn into a beast. It was a wild experience. This post is not about them, but about the player that replaced them. After the druid player was kicked out, this new player, let's call them Daniel, came in. Daniel seemed okay, actually a great change of pace for the party. They would give good ideas, engage in a bit of tomfoolery in a very modest way. Overall, a great addition. That is, until someone spoke of 1 D&D and discussed classes. This campaign was happening as the 2024 Player Handbook UAs were being released. Daniel thought rogues were one of the most broken classes in the game, and they should always be gutted in every game. I found that foolish, and so did the other party members, but only one was vocal about it. They would also say that paladins are getting absolutely destroyed and becoming the weakest class in D&D with the updates, which is why he hated, he'd put emphasis here, 1 D&D and everyone who supported it. Once again, only I was vocal to tell him otherwise. Paladins are getting their power redistributed, their nova is somewhat disappearing, they still deal a lot of damage, and their options each turn are getting expanded a lot. They did not like this. A bit of back and forth, and Daniel said, "If you think paladins are so good, then roll a 1 D&D paladin and fight my 2014 barbarian." I just refused because a class isn't stronger than another based on what they can do to each other, but rather on what they can do in a PvE setting compared to other classes. It's certainly not fun if you're up against a boss and the paladin drops max level spites in one turn to take 80% of the boss's HP while the team deals the rest. It doesn't feel like the others earn the win. They called me a coward and a cheat. I escalated by calling him an idiot that genuinely believes rogues are broken. After escalating on both sides, they started threatening to dox me, threatening to send specific dead animals' heads and dildos. As someone with knowledge on the matter, doxing, The threat didn't scare me, but the intention behind it did. It's genuinely borderline impossible to get one's location via IP without an IP grabber. We had a player in the game that genuinely said these things. It took 2 hours of fighting back and forth and me belittling them and provoking them to show me my IP then, until Daniel finally admitted he was full of crap. The most messed up part, when the DM caught wind of this, Daniel started gaslighting me and saying that not only I started it, I threatened them. Because I took screenshots, I showed the receipts to the DM in private. They told me it's my fault for poking the landmine. Well, okay, but the issue shouldn't be who poked the landmine, but rather, why the fuck is this easily triggered landmine here in the first place? I had to make an essay analogy for them to get it, something along the lines of, it's your fault for getting assaulted, why did you talk to the guy? After thanking me for showing how Daniel was a manipulative sack of shit, he said he'd put the campaign on hiatus to recover from this. I come to find out a month later via another player, let's call her Layla, that the DM is making another campaign, excluding me and my girlfriend to play with the other players and Daniel. Layla didn't tell me on purpose, she thought I'd be joining too, because she was just asking for advice on creating her character. At this point, I just gave up. A few months later, when the DM wanted to resume our campaign, me and my girlfriend just told them no and quit. TLDR, DM has poor taste in players, kicking one out and bringing another that ended up threatening me and doxing me and mailing me effed up things. Also, I'm aware there might be a few holes here and there, but I have some trouble organizing these things in the post. It's my first time posting here. Feel free to ask me for context you think you might be missing, as I've forgotten to mention key details that, at the time of posting, aren't either coming to me or don't feel as important. Well, okay. So to start, I think it's crazy that a story mentions a 6'10" furry dom and that's not even the subject problem player. I just want that one to sink in a little. From there, as a lifelong nerd who has strong feelings on things that absolutely don't matter, I understand that want to be right, but I never understand people who let it get this far. Like, they're having a discussion on their pretend game classes and it escalated to doxing, insults, dead animals, dildos, and an analogy of SA. I don't care if you're the game creator who has all the correct answers and can prove it. At a certain point, you have to be like Elsa and just let it go. It's also just a weird way to make an argument, like, if you think your character is good, let me compare him to my one-trick pony build I made over a decade ago with different rules in play. That's like saying I'm a better racer than you. Go ahead and take that 89 Honda Civic and see if you can beat my Lambo. It's not really comparable. The OP mentioned it, but I think one of the biggest problems is people build their characters like raid DPS in WoW. They will sacrifice anything and everything to hit big numbers against a raid boss, which, if that's how you enjoy the game, more power to you. But with most TTRPGs, there's so much more to consider. I have a bad habit of doing the opposite. I'll almost forget to bother with combat moves and just fill everything up with out-of-combat usability. At the end of the day, it comes down to filling your role in the party, and that generally means a good mix of both in and out-of-combat usability. Now, I do want to mention one thing that to me is glaringly obvious, and that's that while the problem player deserves to take a good amount of the blame, the OP is nowhere near spotless here. The OP admitted that they called them an idiot, belittled them, and provoked them. They spent over 2 hours fighting about it. I mean, I can't imagine a single topic in all of D&D that I would be willing to argue with someone about for 2 hours. Shoot, I have so little time in my life, if I can hit 2 hours of playtime, I'm freaking skipping and heel clicking. At a certain point, like maybe 10 minutes in, you have to realize how dumb a task you've taken on. It doesn't matter at all if you were right, wrong, or somewhere in between. The fact that you're here means that you've lost. Now, did the DM handle things correctly? No, but the whole thing seems like a battle to the bottom. Next time, maybe think, if they're wrong, does it affect me? Will it hurt me in real life in any way, shape, or form? No? Then it's not worth it. As the late, great Mark Twain said, never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. The OP here just needs to learn to let things go and find another group that meshes better with them. With all that out of the way, I'd like to welcome back, after a brief hiatus, bear facts. Today we are going to throw some random bear facts out there. Number 1. Bears happen to have fantastic memories. They can remember food spots years after they happen. They can also remember human faces, particularly ones attached to bodies that have fed them, which is why you should not feed the bear, except the bear bard. He probably won't come back to your house. 2. If you have misophonia, do not hang out with sloth bears. They are the noisiest eaters. They have a tendency to huff as well as make loud sucking noises while eating. Not fun to be around, I assure you. 3. If you are making a bear-based spy thriller, you may want to employ a polar bear. Between their thick fur and fat layers insulating them, they hardly show up on thermal imaging, which is why those penguins from Madagascar are no match for them. I hope you enjoyed these bear facts. Tune in next week for even more fun facts. Thank you, Professor. I do hope you enjoyed your 2-video vacation. I know we all missed you. And now, to Bear Bard's Cave of Art and Wonders. Today's selection is another from the Bear Bard in Space art contest and done by the fantastic Sebastian Fox. I had somehow lost this entry between the move and everything around it, only to find it again after I was looking through my email I had made for the contest. I'm so happy I did, as this piece 1000% deserves to be seen. I love how the Mossy was able to join the bear in space. Although if I'm honest, there's a much higher than 0% chance that the Mossy's the one who pushed the bear out of the airlock here. Thank you so much for your submission, Sebastian, and I'm sorry it took so long for people to get their eyes on it. Now, I'd like to give a huge shout out to my membership subscribers. Y'all are amazing, and I really hope your day is bright. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can find me on both Patreon and Ko-Fi. If you're looking to find the bear in some other forms, check me out on all my socials. As I'm getting back into things, I'll be posting more over there as well. With all that out of the way, all I have left to say is that if you liked the video, make sure you give it that little thumbs up. Also, a good chance to make sure that sub button has been properly introduced. But for now, remember to stay kind, stay beautiful, and keep on living that bard life.